This is the introduction to the first cry of Pugadlawin or Balintawak. It is a remarkable event because this is the start of ending the long and arduous struggle of the Filipinos on the hands of the Spaniards. Moreover, this is our turning point when we finally refuse the Spanish colonial dominion in our country. They said that it was heard on a remote barrio of Pugadlawin or a sitio or hamlet in Balintawak, which is now part of Quezon City, Philippines. But there are two different versions on this event wherein some of them says that it was first heard on Balintawak and some of them heard that it is on Pugadlawin. Since the cedula symbolizes the social and economic enslavement of our fellow Filipinos at the time, Bonifacio and his followers decided to tear it apart in order to set off the fire or as a symbol that the revolution will start now. The eight provinces that we are talking about here are Manila, Bulacan, Cavite, Pampanga, Tarlac, Laguna, Batangas, and Nueva Ecija. Since Bugadlawin is now commemorated as a symbol of the Filipino people's fight for freedom and independence, this monument was dedicated for this historical event.
Objectives. First, to understand the importance of nationalism. The cry of Balintawak was a crucial moment in the Philippine struggle for independence. Studying it can help us understand the role of nationalism in shaping the course of history and how it can mobilize people towards a common goal. Second, to appreciate the sacrifice of our ancestors. The cry of Balintawak was led by Filipino patriots who were willing to risk their lives for cause of freedom. Studying it can help us appreciate the sacrifice of our ancestors and recognize their contributions to our country. Third, to learn about the tactics of resistance. The cry of Balintawak was a form of resistance against foreign occupations. Studying it can help us learn about the different tactics that people use to resist oppressions and gain their freedom. Fourth, to understand the historical context. Studying the cry of Balintawak can help us understand the historical context of Philippine history, including the factors that led to the country's colonizations and the events that paved that way for its independence. And fifth, to promote national identity and pride. Studying the cry of Balintawak can help promote a sense of national identity and pride among Filipinos. By learning about our history and the struggles of our ancestors, we can develop a deeper appreciation for our country and a greater sense of unity as a people.
There are many versions for the first cry of the revolution. As well as the venue, this controversy up to this time remains unsolved. It is believed that the so-called cry took place in Balintawak, but others would say that it really happened in Pugadlawin. Nevertheless, there are different versions to consider. In knowing the real date and place of the cry, these include Pio Valenzuela's controversial Cry of Pugadlawin, Santiago Alvarez's The Cry of Bahay Toro, and Guillermo Masenke's The Cry of Balintawak.
Dr. Pio Valenzuela.
In his first version, he said that the prime staging point of the cry was in Balintawak on Wednesday of August 26, 1896. He held this account when the happenings or events are still vivid in his memory. In his second version, Valenzuela memorialized 1964-1978 averred that the cry took place on August 23 at the house of Juan Ramos at Pugadlawin. In 1936, Pio Valenzuela along with Bricio Pantas and Enrico Pacheco said that the first cry of revolution did not happen in Balintawak, where the monument is, but in place called Pugadlawin. However, from 1908 until 1963, this event was officially recognized as having happened on August 26 in Balintawak. Ultimately, the Philippine government declared in 1963 a change from August 26 to August 23 in Pugadlawin, Quezon City.
The Cry of Bahay Toro, Santiago Alvarez, a Katipunero and son of Mariano Alvarez, the leader of Magdiwang faction in Cavite. He stated in 1927 that the cry took place in Bahay Toro, now in Quezon City, on August 24, 1896. He stated that they went through a tiring journey to the house of Apolonio Samson at Kangkong. On August 22, 1896, the Supremo assigned guards and placed a detachment at the Balintawak boundary where they were gathered. There were more than 500 people assembled at the place carrying assorted weapons. The Supremo was worried of the possibilities that there might be a surprise attack from the enemy, so he decided to move to a site called Bahay Toro.
According to Guillermo Masangkay, on August 26, a big meeting was held in Balintawak at the house of Apolonio Samson, then cabeza of that barrio of Caloocan. Among those who attended were Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, Aguedo del Rosario, Tomas Remigio, Bricio Pantas, Teodoro Plata, Pio Valenzuela, Enrique Pacheco, and Francisco Carrion. They were all leaders of the Katipunan and composed the board of directors of the organization. Delegates from Bulacan, Cabanatuan, Cavite, and Morong were also present.
Spanish colonization of the Philippines.
Spain colonized the Philippines in the 16th century and ruled the country for over 300 years. The Spanish government implemented oppressive policies and exploited the country's resources, leading to widespread poverty and discontent among the people. The Spaniards ruled the Philippines with an iron fist, often employing violent methods to suppress any form of dissent.
Propaganda movement.
The movement used writings and publication to spread their ideas and promote awareness of the plight of the Filipino people under Spanish colonial rule.
Katipunan.
This is a revolutionary movement that aimed to unite Filipinos against their colonizer and used guerrilla warfare tactics to fight for independence. The Katipunan became a significant force in the Philippine Revolution, which ultimately led to the Declaration of Philippine Independence in 1898.
Pugadlawin.
The Katipunan leaders held a secret meeting in Balintawak. During the meeting, they decided to launch a revolution against the Spanish colonial government. The next day, they gathered at Pugadlawin, a barangay in Quezon City, to begin the revolution. The Katipunan leaders had planned to begin the revolution on August 29, but they moved the date earlier because they discovered that the Spanish authority had learned about their plans.
The Cry of Pugadlawin.
This event marked the beginning of the Philippines revolutions against Spanish colonial rule and inspired many Filipinos to join the fight of independence.
Philippine Revolution.
The cry of Pugadlawin inspired Filipinos from different regions to join the revolution. The revolution continued for several years, leading to the establishment of the first Philippine Republic in 1899. Pio Valenzuela played an important role in the revolution by serving as a doctor and advisor to the Katipunan leaders. He helped organize several uprisings and was also involved in the negotiation with the government that led to the signing of the Pact of Biak na Bato, which temporarily ended the revolution. Philippine independence. The Philippine Revolution eventually led to the establishment of the first Philippine Republic in 1899, and the country gained independence from Spain in 1901.
Content analysis.
Pio Valenzuela was a key figure in the Philippine Revolution and present at the Cry of Balintawak as a representative of Katipunan. Valenzuela's account of the Cry of Balintawak describes the event leading up to the gathering, including the secret preparation of the Katipunan and the decision to launch a revolution. He also described the tense atmosphere during the meeting and the emotional speeches given by Andres Bonifacio and other leaders. Valenzuela's account shed light on the aftermath of the Cry of Balintawak, including the challenges faced by the revolutionaries and the eventual success of the revolution in driving the Spanish out of the Philippines.
Contextual analysis. Valenzuela's account takes place within the broader context of the Philippine history, which was marked by centuries of Spanish colonial rule. The Spanish have exploited the Philippines for its resources and labor, and Filipinos were denied basic human rights and freedom. The Cry of Balintawak was a response to the injustice that Filipinos face under Spanish colonialism, and a call to action for Filipinos to unite and fight against their oppressors and demand their independence. Valenzuela's account highlights the challenge faced by the revolutionaries, including the need to coordinate a widespread and organized rebellion across different regions of the country. The success of the Philippine Revolution in driving the Spanish out of the Philippines was a significant moment in the Philippine history and paved the way for the eventual establishment for an independent Philippine Republic.
Sparked the Philippine Revolution. The Cry of Balintawak served as the spark that ignited the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule. The hearing of the Cedula by Gregorio de Jesus symbolized the beginning of the fight for freedom, inspiring many Filipinos to join the cause. Fueled Filipino nationalism. The event helped fuel Filipino nationalism and pride, which has been suppressed under Spanish colonial rule. It inspired Filipinos to unite and work towards a common goal, which was to free the Philippines from foreign domination.
Raise awareness of the Filipino identity.
The Cry of Balintawak was a significant event that helped raise awareness of Filipino identity and culture. It showcased the bravery and determination of the Filipino people to fight for their freedom despite the odds. Inspired future generations. The Cry of Balintawak inspired future generations of Filipinos to continue the struggle for independence. Even after the revolution ended, it served as a reminder of the sacrifices made by the revolutionary forces to secure Philippine independence.
On August 23, 1896, Andres Bonifacio and his Katipunan forces gathered in Pugadlawin, a place in Caloocan, and conducted a secret meeting. During the meeting, Pio Valenzuela read a document that urged the Katipunan members to unite and fight for their freedom from Spanish oppression. The document also contains instructions for the revolution, including the formation of a revolutionary government and the mobilization of the masses. The gathering culminated in the tearing of cedulas, tax certificates, as a symbol of defiance against Spanish colonial rule. The event served as a signal for revolution to start, and the revolution spread to the other parts of the country, leading to the Philippine Revolution and the eventual independence of the Philippines.
The Pugadlawin document is a testament to the bravery and patriotism of the Katipunan, members who risked their lives to fight for their country's freedom.
Thank you for watching.